Hey everybody, it's Bondel and Jolly with Elevate in 365 and welcome to today's casual conversation. I am with Dave Gibson from the Arizona Gibson team, which is under Realty One Group. Hey Dave, how are you today?
Excellent, thank you.
And Dave and I have spent, I don't know, probably the last hour or so getting to know each other. And oh my gosh, I've been laughing so hard. Dave, you have an amazing backstory. You and your former wife started your real estate team back in 2005. And the story that you have shared with me is literally nothing short than amazing. I mean, you were a top performer, coming out of the gate inside of real estate. And then in 2011, you had a stroke that affected one side of your body. 2013, you had a second stroke that affected the other side of your body. 2017, you were in a motorcycle accident with your service dog on the motorcycle with you, and actually lost one of your lower parts of your legs. I mean, it's unbelievable. And yet you have continued to perform in real estate, continued to, work as a team with your former wife, and your attitude and it's unbelievable. Like, what is the secret? Like, do you just drink like a happy juice every single morning when you wake up? How do you do this?
Well, some of that, yeah, I guess that's partially true. The only, for me, the happy juice is I have a very strong faith in God, and so I rely on that, and that was one of the things that kept me going to the hospital when I was recovering. You know, even especially losing a leg, the nurses would always ask, "Why are you so happy?" I said, because paraphrasing Bible verse, I forget about the past. I focus on the what I have in front of me, the promise of uh, Christ from God, and so that's I worry about the future, not the past.
Well, it's unbelievable. And now here we are in these 2020, COVID times, just to throw something else, another challenge on everybody, right? And yet you and your partner are rocking and rolling. And you shared with me that, I mean, 66% of your business is coming through, your database referrals, and you guys are doing well. So what is the secret? Because you shared a couple of key tips with me, and I want you to share them with our audience today.
Yeah, definitely persistence pays off. Stand with it no matter what. And that's just been key in life in general. I mean, if I would have given up after the first stroke, where would I be today? Not nearly as happy as I am now. And even after the accident, losing a leg, I stayed with it and was pursued. I did not give up. I was not going to let that event hold me back. I'm just not. It's not wired in my heart and in my brain. So persistency, being to persevere, be persistent. The other is consistency, doing the things that work, doing those things over and over and over again, and not giving up on those things. Doing the basics, and like I share with you, it doesn't mean not to do new things or try other things. It just means don't give up on the things that are working. Because, like I shared, almost 70% of my business today comes from people that I started relationships back in '05, '06, '07, and so on. So that consistency, to stick with those things that work, and being persistent, seeing it all the way through. Those are the two main things that have always helped me. And certainly the other thing that you touched on, keeping a positive attitude. I like anybody else, who doesn't enjoy laughing? So I try to find humor in everything I do and just enjoy it. And even when things are kind of hitting the wall, you just kind of chuckle at it and say, okay, how do we adjust? How do we adapt? How do we overcome?
Well, that's awesome, Dave. And so I like persistency. I like consistency. Your attitude is amazing. And so, and I asked you, you've been an Elevate subscriber for a little over a year now, about a year and pushing maybe a year and a half. And you were sharing with me how Elevate is helping you, stay consistent. And so could you share a little bit of that story with our audience, what you were sharing with me
Sure,
earlier?
absolutely. Well, I remember when I started, I started just simply using an Excel spreadsheet, and of course, after a while, it doesn't take long for that to get very cumbersome and confusing, and certainly you lose people through the cracks. And so we've tried a lot of other programs, and they did okay. But what we found is Elevate is one of the most thorough programs that has all the different features that we most use and are most useful to us in the way that we do business. And the layout on the dashboard is very simple. It's very easy to use, very intuitive, and so yeah. And like I said, it's helped me to stay consistent with those daily activities.
Yeah, and you mentioned too that you use Elevate social media tools, correct? To
Yeah,
publish
yes.
content.
We, especially my partner, love that part of it, because we had tried to get involved in social media, but we physically could not stay consistent with it. We just didn't have the time, we didn't have the knowledge, we didn't have the content to constantly put out there. So we were very inconsistent with the social media, and that we don't like that. So when we started utilizing your program, this past year has been phenomenal because of that consistency that we've maintained. It's made our overall presence in our community much stronger because of the consistency.
That's awesome. And you also said you were using our lead generation tools, and you
Yes,
became
yes.
so overwhelmed with the number of leads that you actually had
I,
to put on pause so you could catch
I,
up.
I Yeah, I did. I had to stop that. Right now, like I mentioned, I have over the past year, I've not only done so much business, but I have over 300 people that I still have yet to contact. And so I have to. I'm like, whoa, let's stop. Let's go back. Let's chew through this elephant and try to see what we can get out of that as well. And that way we get the most out of the money that we've spent and the value there. Because I know for a fact that I've got a dozen people I'm talking to now that are just kind of milking their way through the process. So I'm, that was before the 300. So there's got to be somebody else in there. So it was definitely very well worth it.
Well, Dave, we actually have some really great email automation outreach tools. And so I'm going to take a look at your account because I think what we could do is take those 300 people that you need to work through and, do some really nice emails and some touches out to them and try to help you prioritize, some of that
That
outreach.
would be love that. Yeah, that'd be a huge help because I'm very technologically handicapped.
Well, you're in good hands. No worries. I'm going to take care of you after this conversation
All
then.
right, cool.
All right, so let's see, Dave. So, do you have any final words or advice that you would like to share with our audience before we say goodbye?
I do. I forgot what I told you I was going to say. Oh my gosh. Dude,
Hey,
that's that's what getting hit by a car will do to you.
oh, no worries. So everybody, remember Dave was talking about persistency, consistency, and using tools like Elevate that help him to stay that way. Oh, and the happy attitude.
Yeah,
That's
yeah, yeah.
imperative. And you have had me cracking. I mean, I literally have tears in my eyes. You have had me laughing so hard. So thank you so much for making my day today, Dave. It's such a pleasure.
You're welcome. My
Everybody,
pleasure.
if you would like to learn more about Elevate and the tools that we offer and what Dave loves to use so much, check us out at tryelevate.com. You can schedule a 15-minute demo with one of our success coaches, and they'll look at everything that you're currently doing and help you fill in some of those gaps and holes and create a whole comprehensive, persistent, and consistent program. Dave, so we're heading into the weekend. You know, the United States is still like in this quarantine, mode. What fun and adventures are you up to this weekend?
This weekend, wow, nothing. I'm, I'm gonna probably scratch through whatever's left on Netflix.
Yep, I've been doing a lot of Netflixing myself. So
Uh,
well, thank you so much for joining me today. It's been a pleasure.
well, thank you for
Everybody,
having.
oh, wonderful. Everybody, have a great weekend, and we'll see you next week for Casual Conversations.